Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Good Day Columbia. Well, the monster under the bridge taking a toll to all who pass by. We're all familiar with trolls in the traditional sense, but with the advent of the internet, trolls have a whole new meaning. So how can a new breed of troll be putting the technologies we love at risk? We'll leave it to our tech expert, Stephen Miano, here to warn us about the dreaded patent troll. Thanks so much for being here this morning,
Thank you
Stephen.
for having me.
Okay, first, what is this patent troll that you speak of?
A patent troll, it's the ambulance chaser of the new millennium.
Okay.
These guys basically leverage intellectual property, patents, inventions. They basically gather up these old patents and they use them to sue companies, large and small, to try and get money.
Wow. How does this work? How can someone fall victim to this?
For example, a company like AOL may patent an idea or technology that's very, very broad in scope. AOL actually patented the network, which is a group of people that are gathering and exchanging information. Well, that's very, very broad. Well, if someone were to get a hold of that patent, they could sue pretty much every company on the planet saying, hey, you're using our invention without our permission. We're in an injunction. You need to pay us money. And that's what these guys are doing. They're gathering this intellectual property, and then they're getting a gang of lawyers to send out a whole bunch of emails and summons and saying, hey, you're being sued.
Now, you mentioned a company like AOL, so does that mean, like, smaller companies and businesses are kind of in the clear? They're less likely to be victim to this?
Well, interestingly enough, they're one of the prime targets. If a company gets one of these summons, we've gotten them. We've had a number of customers locally in South Carolina get these notices. We had an e-store, and we got a notice saying, hey, you're using a technology that allows people to search information online, which everybody does.
Right.
Well, there's a company that has a patent for that technology, but it's super, super vague. It's not enforceable. But they said, hey, we'll settle out of court for $10,000, send us a check, and everything will be fine.
So how serious is this? How serious are we talking here? Should
Well,
we take this seriously?
It's pretty serious because going to court is expensive, and a lot of companies, they're just choosing to settle. They're paying the extortion because they don't want to have to deal with the hassle. Now, the U.S. courts have begun to fight back. I mean, the patent system is a little messed up right now, and we all acknowledge that. And what's recently happened is the U.S. courts have started to fine the lawyers for, I think in one recent ruling, he said, this is extortion. I'm fining you for this. The company that owns the patents, in many cases, they don't produce anything. They don't have a tangible product. They don't make networks, for example. They're just taking these patents, buying them up, and suing people.
And suing people.
Yeah.
Now, real quick before we go, is there anything people can do to kind of protect themselves from this happening?
Well, I'm not a legal expert, nor do I play one on TV, but if you get something like this, most places say just ignore it and it'll go away, because courts are now starting to say, hey, quit wasting our time. We're going to countersue. Some people have actually said, hey, I'm going to countersue. But these companies don't have a lot in the way of resources, so you can't get anything from them. If you get something like this, you might want to speak to an attorney just for the peace of mind, so that they say, yes, this is stupid, ignore it. Or they may say, hey, you need to file this paperwork. We've talked to some attorneys because we've gotten a couple of these, and they just said ignore it. So, but you want to be aware and you want to be careful.
And that's why we thank you for being here, Stephen, our tech expert, to give us the lowdown on patent trolls.
Patent trolls.
They are lurking.